What do you think of the new leadership, Jasmine, AOC, and Bernie?
I consider Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez to be the leader of the Democratic Party. She's entitled to her opinion. I'm entitled to mine. As I've said about her before, I think she's the reason there are directions on a shampoo bottle. And our plan for dealing
you didn't
with her,
plan that out. We got to hurry.
Our plan for dealing with her is called Operation Let Her Speak.
Also, you know, the other way I think you can think about it is that we are, you know, perhaps we are in the downfall of the broken way. This was not built to last. Inequity, injustice is not built to last. It lasts a long time. It could last hundreds of years, but ultimately it crumbles into this, you know, a small cohort of incompetent people that create damage. And from that, something new can spring.
And making the entrance right now to a standing ovation, the 47th President of the United States of America.
Got his grandbabies with him.
CEO Dana White and others, Donald
They had the whole government in there. Tulsi, Cash,
Daring
RFK,
in Blackness with a capital B.
Ted Cruz.
That's Shaq.
Shaq was in there.
That boy Shaq. Because he a businessman.
Bro, at any level, people gonna respect the president. It's the president. I actually saw a couple NFL guys in there dapping them up, like David Njoku, a whole bunch of them in there showing love.
Yeah, the NFL dudes be rocking with Trump more than the NBA dudes.
Oh, for sure.
That shows you all you need.
You know where the men at?
Well,
they paint their nails in the NBA.
Well, you seen Shaq. Shaq give him the leeway.
But Shaq is one of the best businessmen is in the NBA.
Yeah, he is.
So I can understand that.
You said Shaq?
He's probably
Who
one
do
of
you think is the best businessman in
Shaq.
There's actually a dude.
Michael Jordan.
No, there's
Shaq.
a dude. There's
I
a
was gonna
dude
say
who
Michael
we
Jordan.
don't even know about. My coach was telling me about him the other day. Who he played like 5 or 6 years in the NBA, and he's worth more than Shaq. And he just did business.
Is he the one that owns all the Pizza Huts?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I know you're talking about. He's way older though.
Yeah, he's older
than
but he
Shaq.
wasn't like that cold. But he just like flipped his money crazy.
Yeah, he owns like 100
And he's
Pizza
like-
Huts or something like that.
I forgot his name. But that's what was on.
I'm pretty sure he owns like 100
Never heard
like
of him.
pizza
Yeah.
restaurants or something.
He owns a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
like that.
That's crazy.
So he
Never
would
heard
be,
of
I
him.
would consider him the best one.
Yeah.
To me. Hold on, bro. Let me look it up.
Yeah, please.
It's hard to say
Shaq
that
is number one
because
to me.
we seen Michael Jordan.
Really, I
somebody-
got to go MJ, Shaq. Then you know who's also a good businessman. Kobe was a good businessman.
But I feel like Shaq.
I feel like Michael Jordan is the best because, like, think about it, his product was so good that somebody is dying over it right now.
Michael Jordan has football jerseys.
People are in golf.
But I feel like, okay, it wasn't handed to him, but like the shoe product is so good to the nigga community that it's like,
Why
it's kinda,
do you think it's good?
It's
It's because of him.
It's
because
kind of
of him.
handed to him.
No, it's because of
Like
him.
Shaq, I feel like
Shaq-
he's actually
Shaq-
like,
Look,
he has more charisma.
his
Like,
name Bridgman. What's Bridgman's first name? Hold on.
Did you look up the richest NBA
Yes, this
players
is him,
like,
bro.
by
This
business?
is him.
Is this the one with the Pizza Huts?
Junior Bridgman. Yeah, that's the one with the Pizza Huts. Yeah, his name is
Okay,
Junior
wow.
Bridgman.
Yeah, I've heard about him.
He only made $350,000 a season while in the NBA.
lot.
Back in
He
the
is
day.
per year. He is worth 1.4 billion off of 350K a year. Damn. He's worth 1.4 billion. He is the best businessman.
I'm not gonna lie.
Junior
Bunch of Pizza Huts.
Bridgman.
That's really
So, hold
not,
on.
that's not a good stat for the
Why?
Because
fact that you
people
can
going
do
broke.
that.
He's just
All
dumb.
these niggas getting all
he's
this money.
abnormally cold at business, that dude.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, you could.
You know who else I think is a good businessman?
He franchised a couple
I
of
think he played like
places.
6 or 7 years.
You guys know who I think is a good businessman? You're not gonna like it.
LeBron.
Oh yeah.
LeBron is up
Oh,
there.
no
he
doubt.
got tequila and all type of stuff. We
yeah.
can't
Oh, you
leave
know who
LeBron out
also
there.
is up there? Steph Curry.
Yeah, Steph is up there
I
too.
didn't say Shaq because he got the
Steph
best
got a
charisma.
league, don't he?
But Shaq would be, I would say, would go.
You
That
see him in
dude,
everything.
Jordan, Shaq.
You see Shaq in
businessman-wise.
everything, and
I'll
people
take
love
that.
You think
Oh,
more
yeah.
than Jordan?
Jordan.
Well, no, Jordan.
Jordan
I'm
on
gonna
the
give-
NBA team.
No, Jordan has more money than
owned
him.
it.
He
I
has
see.
more money than him, but what he did with what he had,
Well, it's
like,
crazy.
Jordan
That's
was
what I'm
also
saying. Jordan had
like
it
he was
made.
also the best player to ever play. This dude we never heard of.
Yeah.
That's
He's
why
flipped.
that is more impressive.
That is
to me.
impressive.
I'm saying, and Shaq didn't have a product that everybody loved.
That's also very impressive. Yeah.
He had Office Depot. He on
He
every
had
commercial.
Shaq's, you
Yeah,
know,
he on
Crazy
everything.
that Michael Jordan, all you see him is with a cigar. them niggas love them Michael Jordans.
He had a team. He was on
That's
the
why I said that's really not a good stat for the brothers in the league. Be real to see him because they get millions and millions of dollars, and he's worth $1 billion. That fact that y'all can get millions of dollars and y'all can flip that to $1 billion show that y'all.
A lot of them, you know, they feel like they made all their money.
$350,000 a year.
They aren't that smart.
I ain't gonna say they're not that smart.
No, it's just he's in a
Does that not prove that?
He shows how smart
He just more smart.
Bro, I
than
bet
them.
he just has franchises. That's all you have to do. Get a bunch of franchises.
But it's not
That's
so
what Shaq
simple,
does.
bro. It's not so simple, I feel
What?
like.
It's not so simple to get franchises, pay your bills on time. You got all the money in the world.
I don't know,
Get the
but you
best
gotta
credit.
run them, bro.
All you gotta do is get good
Make
credit.
sure they ran right.
Oh, you get people for that.
You gotta make sure you
He
get the right
had
people.
He's
the
great.
right team. Yeah, he had the right team around him.
It's not hard to find that. But let's continue. We're getting off topic. I'm just saying though.
He owns magazines.
Like man.
Shaq is different though. Go Auto,
Oh, he's the
general.
Staple,
He
Icy Hot, Gold Bond,
Gold Bond, Icy Hot. Yeah, Shaq is
Pizza. What's it?
Pizza Hut.
Papa John's.
Yeah, Papa John's. Yeah,
You know,
Shaq.
he's like the president of Papa John's.
Bro, it should be way more athletes with way more money than they came in the league with. They should be coming out the league making money way more than what they were in the league. They should be.
I mean, with the amount of wealth the NBA players have been accumulating these past few years, things should be a lot different. I have to agree with that statement.
No, I think there's a stat that said, hold on, let me make sure this is true before I just say it.
Honestly, we could actually kill like the race disparity in the country, probably with
Disparity.
how much. Yes, but we should be able to kill that with how much these players make.
It's also not their responsibility, but you're right. I do agree.
Low key, that's not a good stat for us. That just kind of pissed me off. How much he just was able to
Yeah,
accumulate.
I was right. I knew it. I should have just said it, man. I got stats in my brain and they in there. 78% of NFL players file bankruptcy.
78.
78%.
Hey, can I pull the?
A lot of it is.
Can I pull the meme up? Big lips, little brain.
Don't do that, bro.
Sorry,
Stop
bro.
saying
Hey,
that.
I'm curious,
Stop
bro.
saying that.
I'm
for
gonna stop
real,
saying
bro.
it. I'm gonna
Because
stop
that is
saying it.
going too far. That is,
But
bro.
hey.
We can't do that, bro.
hey.
We can't. This is how I know God is real. Because I was literally about to go to a sleep doctor because I really struggled to sleep.
He was.
And then we actually just happened to,
ran across Bean.
find out about Bean. And so I was okay, I'll try this first. And it has literally solved my problem. Like, I think the biggest keys here are what are the ingredients? We got the melatonin, the magnesium, and the theanine. All of those like combined, because I've heard of all these things separately, but when you combine them all, it's like you get in the bed and you feel like something's weighing you down. Like that's how you don't feel like moving. And then you wake up and
I remember you said that I felt like I sunk in the bed.
That's how I felt. Yeah, and it helps
That's
me
crazy.
relax my mind before I get to bed. So you can turn on some Cartier Family, lay down, hit the beam, go to sleep. All right, guys. So what you want to do is go to beam.com and put in the discount code Cartier, and that's gonna get you 35% off. That's not no little discount. That is a big discount, y'all. Beam is really blessing. It's a company that has value similar to ours, and they really just want to help. So 35% off with the code Cartier.
At a UFC fight, he took an entire entourage, including Dana White, down to in Miami to the UFC fight. Brought his granddaughter Kai, who's a great golfer, was not at the.
She's University of Miami. Yeah, I bet they're watching the Masters today. University of Miami signee to play golf. I mean, she is an elite golfer.
Yeah, she's absolutely great, and she has a huge following of her own among young people. My kids, that's who they would want to meet. My girls, they would want to meet Kai. But listen, you're absolutely right. He brought some cabinet members with him as well, and he gets this rock star welcoming from every time he goes to UFC.
To me, guys, Trump has taken back sports. I was with him at the NCAA wrestling, the Super Bowl. The reception that he is getting, the Georgia-Alabama football game. Look at this as he's walking in. Oh, and look, and Curb Your Enthusiasm fans who may not otherwise
Tulsi
care.
Gabbard's there, Marco's there, because he's in Florida as well.
Whole government took a
This
night
is
off.
just badass, man.
Yeah, and here's the deal. It's authentic. When Donald Trump
That boy
comes in,
Joe.
he loves these fighters. We've talked about this before. He likes warriors, and he talks about them
Joe had a whole
not as
180
athletes, but as warriors.
Listen to the crowd. Listen to the reception he gets.
And making the entrance right now
They lit.
to a standing ovation.
I'll be lit.
47th president.
I gotta go to one, bro.
They really do walk in like they rock stars.
You know who got me more weak? Look at Dana. Dana walking in the bag like,
That is all.
So there you see him with Dana White. And Dana White actually was on Fox last night on Lara Trump's excellent show. And he talked about what we talked about yesterday, which was Bill Maher getting to meet Donald Trump in person via their mutual friend, Kid Rock. And just how, as we all know, because we know the president, we've met him, we also know people who are wary of the president or think they don't like the president, and then they meet the president.
That's right.
And they like him. Or we know people and we go, I wish you could meet him because he's not the guy you think he is. Here's Dana White talking about that phenomena around Donald Trump.
I think it's not too bad.
So the first thing that happens is Bill Maher walks in into the Oval Office, and me and the president were in there, and he has a piece of paper with every name that the president has called him over the last, however many years. There were like 100 names on this list, and it was hilarious. Thank God he had 2 of them because I had them both sign it, and I'm getting it framed and hanging it in my office. But I think the coolest thing about that meeting and that dinner was 2 guys who have not liked each other for a very long time, 2 guys who have many opposing views, got together and sat down and talked, and they talked about a lot of things that they agree on and a lot of things that they disagree on. But Kid Rock and I always say, and you know this better than anybody, nobody walks into a meeting or a dinner with Donald Trump and walks out and doesn't like him. It's impossible. And if you say you don't, you're lying.
So, after all, the real people in America praise Donald Trump. We have a rally going on for Bernie Sanders and AOC, the fight against the oligarchy going on in Los Angeles right now.
Yeah, he went to, what's it called? Coachella. He was at a Coachella.
Like-
he was on
like the
stage.
music?
Yeah, he was on stage.
Who's on stage?
That's what I swear I seen that on X.
You talking about Bernie?
Yeah.
Bernie was on
This is
stage
it.
at Coachella.
Bro, that'd be insane.
Am I tweaking?
Nah,
I
that'd be
read
too
it on
crazy.
X. Look,
But-
Bernie Sanders, Coachella.
Imagine listening to
Yeah,
Lil
he's
Uzi.
at Coachella. He was on stage.
They allowed him there?
Yeah, look, pull that up for the people to see.
Imagine
Damn.
Imagine
Nah,
hearing
that's
Lil Uzi.
That shows whose side the music people are on.
You hear Lil Uzi
Oh, here's
and he
his
go
speech
out
right
there.
here.
Bernie go out there.
Send that.
He's at Coachella.
No, that's insane.
Well, that is, when you really sit down and think about it, that is majority of their audience.
Well,
Yeah, you
might
ever
be
see
right.
what Coachella look like, bro?
My friend's at Coachella right now.
It's kind of like a
It's definitely kind of like a hippie fest.
Yeah,
almost.
for sure.
But it's just like the way they dress. I don't know what it's it's Cali people.
But it's just a big music event
It's a
where a lot of
festival.
our peers are at. So it's like,
I
he
mean,
was allowed to do it.
I ain't gonna lie. One of my friends is a paid influencer there, and she rock with what we talking about on here.
This is crazy.
He thinks that climate change is a hoax.
Wow.
We need you to stand up to fight for justice.
I can see.
Fight for economic justice, social justice,
Well, we're getting that.
and racial justice.
Wow.
Now we got a president of the United States who
He's 80s. Is he 80s?
I agree.
He's 84?
He
82?
thinks that climate change is a hoax. He is dangerously wrong. And you and I are going to have to stand up to the fossil fuel industry and tell them to stop destroying this planet.
What about China? Nobody say nothing about them.
All over this country, not in California, not in Vermont, where I'm from, but in Florida, where Maxwell is from, many other states. Politicians are trying to take away a woman's right to control her own body.
Tired of that.
We need you to stand up
What
and
has happened?
fight for women's rights.
What has happened different in the last administration?
We
than this
have an economy today
With that.
that is working very well for the billionaire class, but not for working families.
All right, Bernie, and that's where you are. Yeah.
Hold on, bro. Let's literally think about this. I think Trump believes more in climate change than the own Democrats do
Why you say that?
because like, why did they not have water when you know your state is known for having fires? That in itself.
I gotta keep it 100.
That in itself.
I'm gonna keep it 100. Not saying that the environment isn't important, because it most certainly is, but I just think the climate change thing is a government attempt at money laundering, because we're sending hundreds of millions of dollars to these things, and like, how is that gonna how is throwing money at it gonna directly fix the issue? You know what I'm
throwing
saying?
that to other countries too to fix their climate change.
Yeah, I don't know,
And didn't we
man.
see something? I think one of the things that Doge found, like, from wasn't one of the girls or something she got. I think one of the ones who got a lot of money, it was something to do with climate change.
Oh, yeah,
Stacey Abrams?
Stacey Abrams?
Yeah.
Abrams? I thought it was Adams.
Abrams,
Yeah.
It was something to do with climate change.
Yeah.
That's why
Man,
you know,
we need to start a climate change company.
I'm
bro.
just trying to say
Why we didn't think of that?
the earth all our life have changed climate. It have changed from the day that people been living on this earth. Africa used to have a safari not the safari, the desert used to be with grass, I heard back a long time ago. Now it's a desert. Bro, they said,
maybe, I don't know.
They said, bro, I had seen all type of stuff, bro. We had the Ice Age. We had all type of stuff.
Yeah,
man.
but I do think there is like truth to the, like, you know, we don't want to
Overdo
overpollute the
anything.
earth.
Oh, absolutely.
and
That's
things,
definitely
yeah.
important.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't want a factory on every block.
To be more
There's
environmentally
ways.
sustainable or industries and stuff, I see why you could make a point for that. But just to say that climate change and environmentalism is just this huge issue, because I saw somewhere where some environmental group in North Carolina was trying to sue them for picking up trees that fell down to use them to rebuild houses. And they were like trying to sue. And I'm like, this is counterproductive.
Yeah, see, they use it to push their own little ideologies.
It's weird to me that all the other countries in Europe and America was going to stop, and then China's the only country in the world that's still producing that much and profiting the most money
and
off
they
of
cleaned
it.
their pollution though too.
But they paid for it.
No, I'm saying they did it like they did it in a good way. They still producing and they still got the pollution gone. So they solved both problems.
So who? Like,
but you know they on them books over
China
there.
could be behind all this corruption, and they could be trying to take over America.
There's a lot of people.
Look at this insanely large crowd in downtown Los Angeles today.
Oh,
All to
LA?
hear a message delivered by
got no
Senator
job.
Bernie Sanders and Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. It is our top story tonight. Welcome to the Fox 11 Weekend News at 5. Their supporters called it a revolution. Thousands of them were there for hours in the heat to be part of this national movement that's picking up steam. Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf live at Gloria Molina Grand Park right across from City Hall. Matthew, what can you tell us about this event?
Where is this?
Well,
LA.
it was massive and it was hot, as you mentioned. Right now, they're cleaning up. But I got to tell you, these crowds, they stretched all the way to City Hall, up on the stairs, and then they wrapped all the way as far as the eye could see to the south. It's hard to believe it's not a presidential election year.
No, we didn't.
A sea of people shoulder to shoulder outside.
Nah.
Tom, we didn't go down there when we went to that one club.
Only time we went was for the little
that one, yeah.
We weren't nowhere near
The
City
little
Hall.
pump stuff.
We was in Hollywood and
Wasn't it?
Yeah, we was in Hollywood. We
We
were on Melrose. We were on Rodeo.
Yeah, we didn't go downtown because they kept saying
Don't go downtown.
We-
LA.
We went downtown
But this looks clean, though.
for that weird event.
They said they
we
cleaned
went
it
to.
up.
Yeah, we didn't go.
A sea of people shoulder to shoulder outside LA's City Hall. The largest crowd so far for New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
There are people a half a mile away.
And Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders here on their nationwide tour called Fight Oligarchy.
Money in politics is the hands of oligarchy in Los Angeles.
We're fighting a president who undermines our Constitution every day.
Both Sanders
Every
and
day.
AOC targeting President Donald Trump.
A few days ago, ICE officials attempted to enter 2 LAUSD schools to target kids.
Highlighting the president's immigration policies.
He is illegally abolishing agencies that Congress created.
And work by Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency.
The oligarchy will concede nothing.
At a time where the leader of the Democratic Party is in question, there's about 40,000 people here supporting AOC and Sanders.
I
Who do you
told
think that
y'all.
leader is right now?
The only one it could be is Bernie Sanders.
We are moving in the direction of oligarchy.
Elon Musk tweeting this video ahead of the rally with clips of Sanders discussing threats of oligarchy more than 30 years ago.
You're damn right. That's what I've been talking about.
What does fight oligarchy mean to you?
It means like fight the system and fight the systems that are oppressing us.
Well, I don't think America should be bought and sold by people who are running the country with greed on the mind.
Oh wow!
The country was literally bought and sold.
New York Congresswoman and Vermont
systems
Senator
that are
leaving
oppressing
LA with this message.
I have something to say. It's very interesting that a lot of liberals say this thing where they say like fight the system. So fight the government
Sounds good to
system,
say
right?
that.
But they also fight for government jobs, which is the system. They fight for government assistance, which is the system. They say that the government should do more for us as the citizens.
More funding for all these things.
More
that
funding
they care
for the
about.
government. More government.
Yeah.
So like you want to fight the system and also strengthen
Ask
the system
to
and
help you.
ask the system to help you and utilize the system and work for the system, but fight the system.
Hey, that's a great point.
What are you guys talking about?
They're not very bright. I don't think the hamster's turning.
The buzzwords and they just pick them up and they all repeat them.
Defund the police. Oh, the system is bad. They don't want to help people. Y'all said to defund them. Y'all asked to defund
That's
them.
what, hey, bro.
And they say our neighborhoods are under police. But y'all was claiming that. So wouldn't that take more fund? Wouldn't that take? So y'all are actually for fund the police board.
Can't keep up with these people.
Yeah, their brain's just not.
But hold
turning
on, I
the
just
right way.
like, don't the taxpayer money goes to like different places? Like it goes to the police,
Yes,
and then it goes
yes,
to the
the
parks,
police,
and then it
yes.
goes to the other stuff.
It's all that.
So if you defund
Anything
it,
government related.
so if you defund it, like
It'll
where do
get
the
worse.
money
You
go?
reroute the money to a different organization.
To
So
the
somebody,
LG.
so if you cut the funding from one organization, other organizations don't get more money.
So what other organizations got more money?
Probably all the other ones.
But I don't think.
So the parks got
those
better?
took the opposite of
'Cause they
approach. They said, forget them parks, forget all that. We better put money into taxpayers' pockets.
I think Doge's approach is just to cut off the excess waste. Like we'd probably look at the budget and see like out of all those things Taj named, we'd probably see something like LGBTQ help or something useless that doesn't really benefit the greater people.
The Doge
Yeah.
things,
They
you know,
cut
we
it
all-
by
they've
1/12
seen.
already. If they
Yeah.
cut it by 1/12 in a couple months, they might cut it to about 6/12.
So at what point will they act? I think I've more so just been seeing them finding the waste. How do we know they're cutting the waste? Like when will we get a confirmation that a lot of that's been cut or it's been
Well,
stopped?
Doge was talking about.
Well, they
what
already
cut.
said if you go to their website, it says they've already saved each taxpayer $800.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So we'll see. I mean, I guess when we'll see.
On average.
We'll see, guys. Hey, let us know what y'all think, though, guys. This is crazy. Y'all see it, guys. We're out of here.